Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need armed guards or unarmed guards, just give me a call on my business line, which is 973-558-4659. Today, I got a few special guests today. We about to get it in. I got Ricky in the building, Bruiser, and my boy L Nixon, you heard? And it's going to be a dope. It's going to be a dope show. Yo, salute to you guys, man. What's good?
What's up,
What's going
man?
on? Man? What you doing, bro?
What's happening?
Pleasure to see you guys, man. You know what I mean?
Good with you.
Yeah.
Today, man, we're going to expound on the nice guy syndrome, man. You know? And I wanna get into depth on why nice guys is always taking the L. Talk to me.
Man, so many things, man. Like, it depends, man. And also, you got to start off with what you think of a nice guy is. Because a lot of ladies would say that most guys that come off, keep saying or promoting that they're nice guys sometimes are not really nice at all. So it all depends on what does nice mean to you.
A nice guy is the guy that looks out and he looks out for his people, his family, and just a righteous dude. Like for example, the situation with Papoose and Remy Ma. Everybody know the dynamic between that relationship, man, and I feel like that's an equivalent of a nice guy, Papoose. But he got played at the end, and I want to get y'all perspective on that. You know what I mean? Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think one thing is being a nice guy, and another thing is not knowing what's going on behind the scenes. Uh, and I think that's a case of their communication, their transparency on what they do. So, you can be nice, you can be mean or whatever, but if you don't know what's going on behind your back, I don't think it really matters. What you think, Ricky?
Shit, bruh, like I don't like nice guys finish last. They will, man, because nice guys worry about everybody's feelings and how they look at stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, be a good man. Don't be no nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Be a good man, right? I'm a good man. I ain't nice. I mean, I can be nice, but I'm not nice. You know what I'm saying? Um, Nice guys, like I said, they allow people to you know, I ain't gonna even say needs because needs is totally, but they allow people's wants to overstep their needs. You know what I mean? Nice guys willing to sacrifice themselves for somebody that they not sure or have don't have 100% of surety of that person that's that. No, I'm not nice, bro. You got to prove to me what's what, right? Um, be a good man. Be a good man. Stand on your word, right? Stand on your word. Move how a man's supposed to move. Move in honor. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's against you, if something comes up that you don't agree with or that's against your moral code or your moral standard, shut that shit down. Right? It don't matter who it is. I don't care. My wife know, hey, don't go against me, right? Because if you embarrass me in public, I'm gonna punish you in private. You know what I'm saying? People like nice guys don't give consequences. No, it's a consequence for everything. You know what I mean? So it's just the way it is, man. I think it's like what's crazy to me is that people try to blame it on. I think it's human nature. Most people, right? If you allow them to take advantage of you, will. Most people will, and I don't think like they might care the world for you, right? But I just think it's the nature of people. Once a person gets comfortable and the expectation is set, right? Then most people are going to expect that. You can't allow people to do that to you, right? You cannot allow people to do that to you. If you giving somebody something, it's out the grace of your heart and the grace of God. They should be appreciated like the grace of God. But that requires consequences. That's all I got. No, don't be no nice guy, bro. Don't be no nice guy. Be a good man before you anything.
Yeah, and what I would add to that is not only be a good man, but demand respect. Because uh respect is everything, man. Whether you're nice or not, as long as somebody respects you, things like what Remy Ma did, or any offense anybody take towards you, it kind of like suppresses that. It kind of eliminates that because hey, look, I got respect for Ricky. You know, I might not like the motherfucker, but because I respect him, I'm not gonna even cross him like that. You get what I'm saying? I do like Ricky, by the way. Everybody listen. But I'm just saying it not only be a good man, demand respect, man. And there's ways you can demand respect. You can't just verbally demand it. You got to walk in a way that where people look at you and like, that's a strong man. I can respect that. I see his grind. You know, I see his mindset. I see how he's not allowing people to walk over him. Yeah, I'm inspired by this dude. And those people tend to respect you when they see those things.
Right. You know, it's like when you hear people brag about, you know, their looks or, you know, or the things that they have, right? You know, the type of man or type of woman they are, you got to think about it. A boss doesn't have to go around reminding people they're a boss. You know they're their boss when they step in a room. So if you think you're so-called, I would say good to people, I won't say nice. If you think you're so-called good to people, it's in your actions, it's in your consistent behavior. And people know that. You don't have to, you know, the so-called nice guy that some people look at, they're constantly reminding people how nice they are instead of just being who they are. And you got to think about it. What's nice to you may be nice, not nice to somebody else. So it depends on the people in my environment. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll validate who I am by how they respond to me. You know, so that's the thing. I can think that I'm nice, but how do the people around me see me? You know what I'm saying? Do they see me as a respectful type of guy, um, who may come off nice, but if you cross a certain line, you know, I will kind of let you know that you crossed the line.
Word, and that's I could agree. I could agree with you on that. And another thing I want to ask y'all is like, where do the nice guy go wrong by getting played at the end? Because you know, you look at Pap's situation. You know what I mean? On how Remy did him. He he stood by her side when she was locked up, helped her get back into her career and start up the league with her. You know what I mean? And she repaid him by cheating on them with easy to block captain. So what advice would you give to the nice guy out there right now that's listening to y'all? Because from Ricky to Bruiser and L Nixon, y'all got incredible wisdom to share. So enlighten us, man. Talk to me.
I mean, I would say any man out there that's being nice, continue to be nice. Um, but you got to understand, regardless of whatever you do, um, if people are going to make a decision to offend you or cross you or disrespect you, it really got nothing to do with you being nice. You can be the nicest guy. At the end of the day, as long as you're doing your part and you being righteous, and you showing up, that's all that matters. If somebody want to disrespect you, then that's on them. You just got to be able to. It's about what you do after that. You know, I've been in relationships where I've done all the right things, but I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna sit here and expect that the person on the other end is going to reciprocate that. I hope they will, but I know that everybody's a human and they're going to make decisions based off of their own emotion and how they see it. And it's all about how I respond to that. Am I willing to tolerate it? Am I willing to pull up with it? How much of time I got invested in this person? You know, do I see a out? Do I see a way to work through it? And if I do, oftentimes I'll actually work through it. But if not, I'm strong enough and confident enough to move on and know that, there's greener grass on the other side. There's, you know, other opportunities ahead.
Yeah, we got short.
Yeah, I could dig that. Yo, you got any input, Ricky?
Nah, I agree with Bruiser. It's simple. Like as a man, you should move how you gonna move regardless. You know what I mean? You should move how you gonna move regardless. And people gonna make their choices. What's my responsibility is how I respond to them choices. You know what I'm saying? So again, with the Remy Ma situation, if we using that example, right? Papoose did what he did for me personally. He did the honorable thing. He did what he's supposed to do for his woman. You know what I'm saying? But when she go off script, he got a choice to make. Right? It's just that simple. Don't nobody control nobody. I think that's the problem most people have. No one controls nobody. If a person is with you, it's because they want to be with you, or for whatever reason, what benefits they receive in clout, whatever you want to put it on, knock yourself out, right? But like I said, if you go against my moral code, you go against something I don't stand for, it's on me at that point, right? I'm not dealing with you. If it's in Papooses code or his persona or what he put out that I don't deal with no woman after she do this to me and this is what he stand on it. Right? Stand on it. Then like this the one thing young men gotta learn today, right? Your name is everything. Right? Your name is everything. What Marlo say? My name is my name. Your name is everything. Right? So how does this really look, right? Do y'all see if Papoose step? I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if he left or they not dealing with each other, whatever, right? But if he did everything he's supposed to do as a man, and then she disrespect him like this and he step off, he's still good in my book.
Facts.
He's still good in my book. And what y'all need to understand, if a man move and he stand like that, he's good in every good woman's book.
Yeah, facts.
In
And
every
that's
good
facts.
woman's book.
Like to be honest, right, with Papoose, and I've been a fan of both of them for a long time, and just to know how Papoose was there every week, bro. Like, dog, he was there for her like tenfold, bro. Not cheating. You know what I mean? He a wavy dude. He could have had mad shorties. You see what I'm saying? And he resisted. He showed true like that's lit, bro. That's straight. You ain't finding loyalty like that. You know what I mean? And for her to do that, bro, it just shows that everything is temporary. Like how homie said earlier, it's emotion. It's like females move emotionally. Like it's everything with them is so temporary. They'll be with you for 15, 20 years and then wake up one morning and be like, hey, I'm done. I had a dream. Like, what the fuck you mean you had a dream? So just like homie said, you know, like you can like with what Ricky said. Fuck, I just had it in my head, bro. Fuck, man. I was really gonna say some hard shit.
What's cool? Word
But
out.
yeah,
It's like, yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
yeah. So to be honest, right? When a man becomes emotional, where he's more emotional than the female, there's a imbalance in the equilibrium in regards to how a man's supposed to react. Like how Rick. That's what I was gonna say, Rick. So like, it's all how you respond to that. You see what I'm saying? Now you could go back, but the disrespect is gonna be there. Y'all may be good for a year or two, but eventually y'all gonna get into a little argument, and she may say something, or that will be in their subconscious of what they did. So I gotta be out. I gotta deuce. Fuck you. You know, I don't give a fuck if we had 3, 4 kids. I'm out. I'm taking care of my kids. We co-parenting. We good. You see what I'm saying? Like straight up, respect and loyalty.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll respect you if you don't come back. If you do come back,
100%.
you know, they like, I got him. You know what I'm saying? You know, they, you know, they glad you back, but, you know, give it about 3 months.
3
It's
months,
going
bro.
back
Right.
to, going back to what it was before. But you know what, though? It's just how he moved, right? So you'll have a lot of people look at Papoose like, you know, see, that's why you don't move like that. That's why you don't play a fool. You know, he went out like a sucker, and he didn't. Because if you look at it right now, no, a lot of women is not coming at Papoose like that. A lot of women, they like, you know, they held it down. They looking at her a certain way because he was consistent. And even with everything coming out, is how he responded. You got to know how he responded. You know what I'm saying? Very stoic. He didn't put no business out there. You know, whatever's being handled, he's handling it behind scenes, still while protecting his family. You know, not just
Right.
looking at just her, but we got kids and we got other things involved. So, you know, you gotta respect that.
Yeah, word out. And you know, to look at his situation, Pap or whatever, you know, while he was holding it down for her when she was behind the wall, like he never stepped out. There was no like receipts on him stepping out on his wife. You know what I mean? And I just find that, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the crazy thing is, right? It's like, yo, chicks, they talk about wanting to do like that, but in all reality, they don't like the guy that's righteous and that moves in a positive light. They really like the dude that got, baby mothers, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, as soon as you tell, shorty, you got a baby mother, oh, she all lit, nigga. You know what I mean? And, I want to get your perspective on this, man. Like, do you think it's just the right thing for the female to say that she like the righteous dude and go behind the scenes and let the bad boy smash? Like, what's your thoughts on that? You know what I mean? Yo, Ricky, man, I'm gonna start with you, man. Talk to me, man.
Come on, dog. Look, they liars, bro. Like, which part of this don't understand, bro? Women lie the same way they wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why a good woman is exceptional, bro. It's a reason why. Look, man, y'all got to understand. We talk about the nature of women. I say this all the time. It's circular because it's true, right? We talk about the nature of women, but still we fight it every time in our mental, right? We fight it every time. No, the majority of these women are all the same. The same way the majority of men are all the same. This the problem I have, what people don't understand, right? Women ask for, this is what they ask for, right? They want to be able to do nothing, have everything paid for, when that's the very thing that allows them to go astray. Y'all notice that? It's the most comfortable women, right? That's always acting up. Because inactivity, not doing nothing, is the devil's play shop, right? So the more comfortable you make your woman, right, the more time she has on her hands, right? The less stuff she has to worry about is the more stuff she can get into, right? That's why your wife, when she comes into your fold, she gotta have shit to do. You need to have some housework, right? You need to have some babies so you can tend to these babies, right? You need to have something to keep your mind occupied. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing about a woman is when she get bored. Don't let a woman get bored, right?
Yeah.
At that point, it's over. It get crazy. It's over. These women, y'all wasn't supposed to be sitting on y'all ass doing nothing, and all y'all got to do is go to mimosa brunches and hang out with y'all girlfriends. That's a no-go. Right. They don't want a good. They want a good man, right? They want a good dude that shows that he's able to get other women, right? They want a good dude that's worth having, right? That means they have to earn him. Listen to what I'm saying. What would money be if nobody had to work for it?
Hey, that's what I tell.
I mean,
that's what I tell guys. You can't relax, man. When you get them, you can't relax. You can't afford to. You got to stay on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, as far as just being, complacent, you can't. Men, we like consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in everything we do, haircuts, we don't vary from too much stuff. We can afford to sit still. You know what I mean? We can afford to save money. We don't have to go on, 10 vacations a year. We can follow the schedule. That's what men are, but women, they like excitement. They like to, they like to constantly go to places and do certain things or whatever. So, with a lot of women, you do have to keep them on your toes. So, and I think as far as like women getting with a certain type of man, the man that they really want couldn't give them the security. And they really want to be with that man, but that man can't give them what they want. So a lot of times they'll settle for that nice guy to give them the house and the white picket fence. But in the back of the mind, while she making love to you, she thinking about that dude. And a lot of times, if she do step out, that's the dude she's stepping out with.
Straight up.
and I wish it was a formula or some way to see that this woman is like that, but it ain't. And that's the reason why I tell all the brothers, protect yourself.
And these females lie the best, bro. They could lie. They lie so perfect, bro. Like they play the perfect character, bro. You know what I mean? They play, they be checking your phone and shit. You feel me? It's crazy, bro. You got to be like a sponge, bro. You got to absorb what you can and leave out what you don't want. And to me, bro, like I told my shorty, I was like, Ma, you got 90% of my trust. Like I believe in you 90%. You'll never get that 10% until we hit like 70, 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? You'll get my 100% when we turn 80, 90. You know what I mean? Where I know you ain't gonna fuck around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. You nigga, I'm gonna always be on my toes with you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting 100% nothing until I know 100% that you with me. Like uncontrollable, unconditional love is what I'm talking about. Not that I love you shit. Like if shit go bad, if I like I had a stroke 2 years ago. You see what I'm saying? I had a clog in the deep left side of my brain, and I couldn't talk for 6 months. I had to go into rehab for 6 months to learn how to talk and stuff. You see what I'm saying? And my girl was there for me, bro. She took care of my rent, she took care of the car, all that, paid all my credit cards off and all that. Like I had to put that K ring on her. You feel me?
So, bro.
You know, so I'm blessed, bro. Now I'm living in my house with her. We got two kids, 3 kids, but 2 kids mine, 1 kid hers. But again, you just never know, bro. One day she could snap out and be like, yo, I'm done with you. I'm tired of your respect ways, because I'm big about respect. You know what I mean? Like her daughter be, disrespectful and stuff at times, and I be wanting to say stuff, but it's not my daughter, so it's only so much I could do and so much I could be like to get that respect. You know what I'm saying? And it's frustrating at times with it. You feel me? But yeah, my little story.
Yo, well, let me ask y'all a question. Do you think most women are led by the emotions?
Yeah, a lot of them.
I mean, I would say so, but I mean, the shocking thing is nowadays, so are a lot of men.
I'm starting not to believe that, man. A lot of
You don't
these
believe that?
women, they tactical like nuke missiles, bro. A lot of them, man. I think they emotionally logical. That's what I'm gonna start saying, right? Because like if you listen to these women talk, bro, they know exactly what's up. They be doing that so we can be like, oh, you just a woman. Nah, bro, they know what they be doing, bro. They know what they be doing, dog. It ain't got nothing. Like, tell me, right? And this is just to everybody, right? Y'all name me a time that y'all was with a woman and y'all broke up and she wasn't ready to move on, and you broke up with her.
Shoot.
Yo, when that happens, you know she done lined it up for you to break up with her. You know what I mean? Because women, they speak indirectly. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when that happens, she already got it lined up for
Right.
you.
So how can we say they moving on emotion?
Because they're scared of being alone.
No, because she ready to go when you break up with her. She already got everything lined up.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Right. Where's this emotional decision making at?
She probably already went through the process already, man. You know how they do, man.
They're mentally done prior.
So basically, like in the case of Tyrese, his wife didn't have nothing lined up, and he over there with a young IG model living his life despite. So, she not feeling that.
I think these women are like Dylan said. I think they're emotionally unstable from the jump, and it just takes a man to come in their life and create a space where they can reach that stability again. Oftentimes, man, in relationships I've had with women, I had to become a therapist during a relationship. It's conversations I had to sit in, and things I wasn't interested in talking about. As a man, you just have to listen. And when you try to interrupt or try to find a solution, they don't even really want the solution. They just want to vent. And they just want you to understand how they feel, but they don't want to fix to it.
They want to live in their own made up illusion.
They rather you grope the back of their scalp while they mourn than to come out with a solution and move on. That's what I see, and I think it comes from before you. It comes from how they were raised, what they saw in life, and that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of women move off of memory. They want to create memories. Everything they do, whatever events you go to, whatever finances, they like to purchase the memory. And men like the plan for the future. So we set aside finances to plan for stability in the future. When the woman really doesn't really care about that. She just want a memory. So she'd rather spend $1,500 on a photo shoot, but you'd rather spend the $1,500 on maybe tech upgrades in the house, that lasts for years. But that $1,500 photo shoots, it'll last. You could see it, but it's a transaction that's just so fast and it just pictures. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they capture those memories in their mind to kind of balance out all the issues they're having emotionally. So they remember all the good things. And that's a lot. And from the conversations I have with women, a lot of the good memories they had with the men, even if they're in a rough relationship, it kind of keeps them in the relationship. It kind of gives them the reason to stay in a relationship because they're able to create these memories, these moments throughout the time they're dating or in a marriage that just justify why they're still there. And it's an emotional instability at the end of the day.
Yeah, straight up.
On the flip side, I was watching a clip from your wife's podcast, and one of the co-hosts was saying, there could be a good guy, just doesn't mean that he's the guy for me. What do y'all think about that?
Man, that's deep. It's layers to it. Just listening to it at face value can be depressing. Like, damn, what the fuck? But
when you just said that, my bad. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you gotta actually peel back the layers, man, and just you gotta look at the woman who's saying it first.
Facts.
And try to understand where she's coming from. Because she may be in a relationship with a good man, but there's other things because I believe that everybody thrives off of different things. Like the things that keeps me in a relationship with my wife, that she does for me, that keeps me there, that gives me that reassurance that, look, I like this, I'm going to continue with this. That might not work in your household. You might need your wife to do other things. Or you might not even need your wife to do as many things as my wife did. So I think it's a person by person, case scenario.
No, I agree. The thing is that the individual, like if you're the so-called nice guy in question, you really got to take a look at, starting with yourself, because you can by all means, have good intentions, right? But you can be with the wrong person, right? And you may think it may be something that you're doing, but maybe that's just not the woman for you because she likes X, Y, and Z or certain behavior, and you're not ready to switch who you are to give her that behavior. Like a lot of times,
you said a key word: switch
Right.
who you are. I fundamentally believe, starting probably last year, as I did a little research, I don't believe anybody is the right person. I fundamentally believe every person you meet is the absolute wrong person for you, and it's up to you and that person to make each other right for the relationship y'all want to have.
So if that's the case, how can you get rid of a good person then? You see what I'm saying? Right? I believe this what I believe, and I think this is where a lot of, again, this is my opinion. I ain't gonna say a lot of people fail because that's obtuse, right? This is what I believe. I'm a man, right? I have control over me, right? So if I got a good person around me, right? Especially a good woman, because me being a man and of sound mind and body, I can control my mind. I'm disciplined enough, right, to learn to focus on those attractions. Right? I'm disciplined enough because I understand the things that I might not like about this person do not outweigh the goodness of this person. Right? But in society, it's the reverse. Right? You could be the greatest person in the world, but if you don't have this 10%, right? You're not a good person to me, right? It's really this argument. This is the argument that people need to have, really, right? So if we can say that, and it seems to me, again, on social media, this is an example I'm using social media. All the examples we hear are the examples like on Bruce's Wife podcast. It's the woman saying the man's not good enough, right? The man's not, he's a good guy, but it's just something. It's just that thing. What is it? I don't know what it is, but he was just too nice. He was just too great, but he was great. Today, we're still friends. I got him in the friend zone. He's such a great guy. He'll make some other woman a great husband. So it's your nature, right? That's not allowing you to like this person, right? It's something within your nature, whether it's sexual, physical, right? It's something within your nature as a woman. So again, if a woman is not a grown ass woman, I ain't talking about no 17, 18-year-old. I'm talking about a grown ass woman. You can't control your nature. Why do y'all expect men to do so?
Straight up.
Every man that's monogamous is going against his nature. Right? Every man that goes out here and hunt every day and doesn't put himself first and put his family first is going against his nature.
All right, bro, let's talk about that though.
Sacrifice.
Right. But let's talk about that though. What if the guy is a so-called nice guy but doesn't put himself first, and he's not confident? You know, he doesn't carry that.
I think every guy at some point when you get in a relationship with a woman and you want to get married and have kids, at some point you're gonna put yourself last.
You got to for the relationship to work.
Of course.
Right? I was thinking about this today. Listen to this, right? So let's talk about the mothers in marriages, right? In relationships. And please note, guys, when I speak from the stance of a man who handles his business, a man that sacrifices, a man that takes care of his family. This is what they say to us, fellas. Women got the hardest job in the world. They got to take care of the kids, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop, da-da-da-da. It's a 24/7 job. But yes, we parent to the day we die, right? But can we all agree, is it fair for Ricky to say that when those kids become adults, that woman has a lot more time on her hands? Is it fair to say that the parenting job, while it still exists, is nowhere near as heavy or as hard as it was when the kids were at home and children? But when do your job stop as a husband taking care of your wife, though?
Never.
It never ends.
Stop. You responsible. You gonna have to provide a way, whether it's through planning or the sweat off your back. You is gonna have to provide a way for your wife until the day you die.
And even after.
Now here comes that factor, right? If you vice versa that, right? Like for your female, she has to be the one cooking. She has to be the one cleaning. She has to be the one doing your laundry. She has to be one doing the sheets on your bed when you wake up, where you don't have to do nothing like that in the house. You see what I'm saying? You taking out the garbage, that's your manly thing. You gotta do that. But your female is doing everything internally to make sure y'all, good, when y'all go out. Now, like you said, she do something out in public, and that shit ain't happening with me. You see what I'm saying? I may take it to the side and talk to her right there. I ain't even taking it home. I don't want to forget what I really wanted to say. Because by the time I get home, I may forget a few things I really had to say. You feel me? So, but yeah, man, as long as you have that respect, man, and you let them know, hey, I'm not about this. The same way you're not about having a nigga do this or talk on this or like a girl's pictures and like a girl's video on Instagram, this and that. You feel me? I don't do none of that, and she don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You see what I'm saying? Like straight up, and it's just all that. It's all neutral respect. It's neutral respect. She understands the respect factor. I understand the respect factor on my end, and we neutrally agree to it, like subconsciously. You know what I mean? From her just being her.
It's just kind of frustrating that a lot of these conversations try to emphasize the need to, say that women are doing more. Like, why is that even a problem? Why is it ever a problem for women to do more? I mean, men been doing more for centuries.
Yeah.
I think if that's your role and that's what works for the relationship, there shouldn't be nothing wrong with doing more. I think women who do more, if that's the case, should just look at themselves as a proud person. I'm holding it together. I'm doing a lot of things, and it's making the relationship work. We're thriving. Our family is doing good. Yeah, I got to do all this shit, but that's what it's all about. You get what I'm saying? Look at yourself as a leader. Look at yourself as somebody's holding the team together. Instead of pointing the finger at, oh, I'm doing this much, this is not good, you should be doing more. Why do we gotta play that somebody? Why we can't just do what it takes? You get what I'm saying? So, and when you look at a good woman, and I'm interested. I like where this conversation is going. I'm just interested to see what everybody think a good woman is in society. Because I've talked to a brother and he told me that, he loves his woman. He want to marry her. She's a good woman. She got a really good job. She works on executive level. He's got a good job. They're located in two different states, but they're gonna try to figure out how to make it work. She's been working her job for about 3 years, and he been working his job for almost 15 years. He got about 5 more years. He about to retire, and he told me something that kind of didn't sit right with me. He said that she wasn't really willing to leave her job, her location.
Yeah, you gotta bounce on that.
But this same person is saying these things out of his mouth, saying that this is a good woman. And that's why I say I think to each man, a good woman may be different. For me, that's a bad woman. She's got to be willing to shift her career for me, especially if I'm up on her already. I got about 5 more years before I retire. And you may not even have to work, but you're just so tied into your own passions and your own career that you can't figure out a way to intersect that with our future. That's not a good woman. She may be a lot of guys might look at her, oh, she's good, she's beautiful, she's good.
See, but the lady you're speaking about, Bruce, is a female from like the 80s and 70s. You feel me? Because females in this day and age are totally independent. Hey, I saw my mom do it by herself without having a pops around, and man, I'm independent. I can do it on my own without you. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about a female like that, that's really about her career, about her money, about her guap, and she's like, yo, I'm not gonna just bounce on what I work for 10, 15, or 5 years for you, and then you're not gonna do the same for her. You see what I'm saying? Like, what if she said, hey, you got to quit your job and come where she at? And I understand we're men, so we're leaders, so they're supposed to follow our lead. You know what I mean? But that's how females look at it, just to be honest. You see what I'm saying? So you got to find a way how to find like a medium, like somewhere that
there is no median when it comes to leadership, my boy. There is no median, right? If look, I take care of you. That's that, and this is the problem, right? People try to lie like that's not the expectation. That's the expectation. You have every single one of these independent women saying, I don't need no man, but as soon as y'all get together, she telling you she got bills for you to pay. Facts?
Yeah.
Facts? Right? Soon as y'all get together, I need this. No, you expect me to lead. I'm the leader. You follow. There's no middle ground when it comes to leadership. I can't defer to you if we out on a battlefield. What do you think?
I just feel, man, the mental part of it, bro. Like I'm just saying where females' head is at. Like for example, right? My shorter's living in a whole different state, and I had her move down to where I'm at. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying in general, average females, that's how they think, especially if they get their own money. I'm not gonna quit my job or leave where I'm at, where I'm comfortable at, to go where you're at to make you totally happy, which is fucked up. And that's what Brew is saying. He was like, that's not a good female. You know what I'm saying? So I like how Brew brought that up, you know, because you have to really look internally for that shit.
Yeah, but when a woman can say, "Hey, I'm comfortable. This is where I want to be," she's prioritized that her lifestyle that she has already over anything that I can provide for her in the future, which already makes us incompatible for each other.
Right.
You know, and that's why I say a lot of women they move when their emotions are tied to the moment, and a man's the way he moves, he's tied to, okay, where are we going to be at in the future? I'm looking ahead, and I got to move all these pieces around to put us here. And if a woman ain't really trying to get down with that, and you should be on to the next.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of guys compromise and they're like, okay, well, I'll just move closer to you and try to see if I can work from home. And it don't work out. You know what I'm saying? It's really, that's a dangerous situation to put yourself in. But, you know, to each individual, it may be worth the risk. But for me personally,
Right.
and I'm gonna train my sons the same way. You go out in the world, you know, you find your way, you stay on your purpose, you prioritize getting to your goals. Never put a woman is gonna come into your life, and the first thing she gonna want you to do is put her first. That's the worst thing you can do is put a woman first. You have to put your purpose and where you're trying to go first. Once you get there, then that's when you put your family on your back. You put everybody first. But you have to establish a foundation first. And you can't do that by putting a woman first. But she's going to deviate from any path you already, or any plan that you already orchestrated prior to her. So you got to know these things, and you got to keep those things embedded in your mind. And hey, look, I'm going to stick to this, and I'm going to stay consistent. And you'll find a woman who's willing to mesh with you. And if she's not willing to mesh with the plan you got, then you just got to make a decision.
But you know, Bruiser, if you if you put that to most women, right, not putting them first, they may look at it as I would say an insult, or they may look at it as you being insensitive and things like that. But what they have to understand, you know, when men talk about putting their purpose first, right? Now, if I'm driving this vehicle, right, that we're both in, you know, and I'm leading, you know, and the road is your purpose, your goal. You know, we're going in a direction. And if I'm heading in that direction and I'm behind the wheel, if I take my eyes off of that road to look at you, I'm going to crash.
Mm.
So the thing about it is, when I put you first, then everything lacks. You know, the man that you met that was getting those 55 hours, that was networking, that was doing all these things that you loved about that man. When he starts to focus on you, those 55 hours now become 35. And all those other things you do started to lack because you put her first. And now all of a sudden you get penalized because you're not the man that she first saw, because you gave her everything that you want. And the thing about it is, when you put the relationships and your purpose first, everybody under that benefits. And when you put it
That's
like
right.
that,
It's like the ultimate sacrifice for a man.
Right,
right,
right. But the truth is, you are putting her first. You are. You're sacrificing you're sacrificing your life's blood, your life's energy to take care of your wife and your family. You're really putting them first, right? I don't think it's about purpose. I think it's about who's responsible for what, right? So let's say the moving scenario, right? If you go by what she says, okay, I want you to move here. And if y'all a couple, no matter what she says, no matter what agreement y'all come to, or y'all said y'all believe to be true, she's gonna look at you as her man to put the pieces together. If not, at that point, her respect and admiration for you will change. And you guys all know this. It doesn't matter if you're doing what she asked you to do, or what if you didn't ask her what to do. You're going to be held responsible for it if it falls apart. You.
right.
So again, if you're going to be responsible for it, you should be moving on your own terms, not hers.
That's what I'm saying. Put the relationship first. If buying that house is not a good a good thing at that time, then it's a no. You know what I mean? Like it's a no, and whatever happens after that, if you feel whatever way you feel, then we'll deal with it. But
Yeah, but
sometimes you got to
the
ignore.
question is why is buying that house not a good idea?
Well, I mean, y'all supposed to be compromising. Y'all supposed to know financially where y'all at. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I'm
and
saying,
if that's not
for example,
what's up?
buying a house is probably going to put you in a financial bond, right?
Right,
So you can't do the things that you planned out in the future. You can't get
right,
to the goals. So
right.
inevitably, these decisions that you're suppressing or you're removing, you're removing them because they're keeping you from reaching that your purpose in life. And when I say purpose in life, I would look at, okay, I'm a father. My purpose is for me is to be a father to my kids, usher them into the world and send them off. And my wife will be my life partner. You know, my wife, my queen, and she's gonna stick by my side and help me do that. She's a help me. So when I look at it, it's more like layers. Yes, Ricky is right. Inevitably, you are putting her first, but because she's gonna benefit from the direction of where you're going or the destination of where you're going to go, everybody on the team is going to benefit. So
Exactly.
inevitably you are putting the first. But what I want to do is just throw another scenario out there to try to just put some clarity on what I'm saying. So for example, you have a wife, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of women look at putting them first is doing whatever you can to make her happy. And in order to make her happy, I want you to get me this bag. Or when we have this engagement, I want you to spend this amount of money on this so I can be happy. These are the things that make me happy. But you have a lot of this money tied up into an investment fund that is growing to a point where it's going to allow you to retire and have funding for your kids to go to school in the next 7 years. And if you mess with that, then you knock yourself off a course. And what I'm saying, putting your purpose for first, putting your goals that you're going to reach as a man in your family, putting that first over her. You get what I'm saying? She might not be able to understand that. And a lot of women will understand that and still be like, well, their emotions, I still want to be happy.
Well, you got to
So
stick with
what are
it, bro.
you gonna do? And what I'm saying is, as a man, you just gotta stand on it, and you gotta be like, look, no, it's not gonna happen. We gotta figure out a budget. We gotta figure out another way. I love you, but we have children. You know what I'm saying? I have a vision, and once I get there, and I get it all squared away, I promise you, I'm gonna give you everything you ever wanted. But you just gotta give me the time to get us there. And that's what I
Right.
mean by putting that goal, that vision, that purpose first.
And it's a respect thing, bro. Because if I'm the man, right, that you want to be with, and you respect me and you trust me, then the respect goes out the window when you start stepping on my toes, when you start prohibiting me to carry out my vision. You know, I remember I'll never forget what my oldest son mom said. Um, it was a financial decision that I knew as a man wasn't a good one, right? But in order to make her happy, I did it anyway. And then when it fell apart, you know what she told me? Well, you ain't have to listen to me. Now, I mean, when I when I say I was mad as hell, but you know what? Though I had to think about it. She right though. I knew better, and I went against that. And now it's just nonchalantly, well, you didn't have to listen to me. So once again, it's all on us. If we fail, it's all on us. So sometimes no, I ain't gonna say sometimes you have to move as if when all else fails, it's all on you. It's your fault. So if you make moves like that, you know what I'm saying? It's not about, that temporary happiness for the once instead of those longevity, those needs. Sometimes people they just gonna have to be mad at you, man. Because there's three other people in this house. You know, you want this purse or you want to go to this Beyonce concert, but we saving for a house. You know, then you want to go on three of them concerts, $700 a piece. It's not in the budget.
a thousand
But watch
dollars.
her on TV. You know
And
what I'm
I'm
saying?
telling you, man, and I think it's really linked to the culture, how people are, man, like the backgrounds. Like if you look at the women today, you got to understand their minds, the things they're willing to sacrifice just for the moments, just for the memories, just to have those memories in those moments. I mean, I've seen women willing to spend $5,000 on some Beyonce tickets and just thug it out with $150 for the last 20 days of the month. You get what I'm saying? And that's more important. And they'll do that over and over. You know what I'm saying? Versus a man coming to your life and like, hey, look, I got this goal. If we keep saving and keep throwing money over here, we'll be here. You're just gonna have to shop at Walmart every now and then to get some clothes. They're just not willing to do that. You're gonna have to put your hair in a ponytail. You know, you're just gonna have to take a hit on hairdos. They have this thing, this belief that how they feel and how they look for the moment is way more important than anything that you can provide in the future or any plan. And you got to just hold strong on that, especially if you actually have a plan or you taking your family in a route to where there's light at the end of the tunnel. These there's fruit. You're gonna bear fruit if you actually can confirm those things and explain those things to her. A good woman will be like, okay, yeah, I see that. I see where you're going. I see a vision. I like that. Let's do it. But then you got a lot of women, unfortunately, most of these women in the society, especially America, they're not having that. Especially if they can go and create their own lifestyle moments and memories on their own, they're going to require you to do it. Or if you can't do it, let me know when you get to the end, and then I'll go in there. I'll come with you and link up with you. But I'm not willing to make these sacrifices for my day-to-day beauty, my day-to-day hairstyle, my weekly, my monthly brunches and all that stuff, things I like to do. I'm not willing to make these sacrifices because I don't need you. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we got to deal with as men.
But you
A
know what though?
lifestyle is
For sure you
is
gonna
in competition with who we can be with.
But you know that there's times where you'll have women who are very practical, who understand that they may have some experience, so they understand, especially when they reach a certain age and they're mature and they want certain things. So you will have some women who understand sacrifice, and then sometimes they just with a guy who just, I mean, they got that in that place, you know, over time, and they saw certain things and they're still in that place. You have this vision, but you with a man that have no vision. You with a man that's just spending money. He want to buy a new car. He want to, he got to have every pair of Jordans that coming out. At 55 years old, you got to have all these things, and so that's another side of it. Um, and I think to a certain point, some of us men who have certain type of vision, when you find someone who can build with you or who's very practical at, going in the same direction with you, you can't afford to mess up. And you'll have guys out there who have that and, they weren't ready, so they'll drag them along with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you do have the other side of it where you have women who have, that mindset. And sometimes it's just with guys who just don't have no vision, no direction. Now they shouldn't if you've been there 2 or 3 years and you don't already wasted a lot of your time, you shouldn't even be with a man that you don't respect his leadership. It should never got that far.
And you know
But
what? And that's interesting that you say that because I mean I have sisters, nieces, cousins, females, sisters-in-laws, cousin-in-laws, females. And I just fundamentally believe that having a brother, if I know a lot of people don't have their father in their life, that's not an excuse. Having a male presence that cares about your best interests at heart is enough to be able to help you use discernment on whether this guy that's stringing you along in the cases that you explain, to give you enough insight on that and help you make a decision to like cut him off or move on. Like, and if you do like women, if you are lucky to have a father in your life, I recommend just creating a strong relationship and communicating these things that you're going through in this relationship that you may be struggling with. Because me as a father, I don't have a daughter yet, but if I had a daughter and I knew that, guys, she's submissive and she's laying it all out there for the dude and doing whatever he says, but he's just out here buying Jordans and doing whatever they want. I'm gonna tell her, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna pull her to the side. I'm like, look, if she allow me, hey, look, you need to rethink what you're doing with here. This situation is not looking good for you. You might want to go ahead and call it quits, or set this dude down, or go to counseling or something. But it appears to me that a lot of women, they don't want a man. They rather have women in their corner, helping them making these decisions. And a lot of times these women ain't giving them the right information and the right guidance on how they should move with this dude. But a man, like a big brother, can you imagine your sister being cheated on or hit on or beat on, or this guy just is reckless? Imagine that's your sister. You gonna tell her, like, look, don't deal with this dude. This dude is no good. You need to part ways. And I think if women today start keeping a brother, father, uncle, whatever, that looks out for their best interest, in their corner when they're going through these situations where they're not sure about the relationship, they'll make better decisions. They won't be, ran over so much. And we won't be meeting each other with these traumatic experiences, trying to figure out, damn, how can we make this work? I got all this past and all this baggage and I never got over. And then I'm seeing these red flags in you. I'm already at my breaking point. So any sign you give me that I've previously experienced, I'm gonna call it quits. And this guy could be the one for you, but you so damaged from your past, you can't move on. You can't see the prize in front of you. You get what I'm saying?
All right. But when we talk about nice guy, right? The thing is, as a man being able to operate in, I'm doing all these things that women say that they want, right? My thing is that who you are, or are you doing that just because that's what women want? So I mean, there's two sides of that, you know. So going back to what you said, Bruiser, as far as having nieces and sisters and stuff like that, you know, on the other side of the guy himself, you know, how do women around you that um, move in a respectful manner or actually looking for a man to build with, how do they determine what actually is a nice guy? Is he pretending? Is he the guy who is looking for validation? Like I said before, people that keep reminding you that they're a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really a nice guy? You know? And a lot of times you find it out when that guy don't get what he want. You see a lot of guys being real fragile. They don't get what they want and then they just flip. They just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So were you really doing that just to get the woman, or is that really you? Or are you that nice guy? Do you need women to validate you? Do you rely on their approval? You know? So it's the thing is it's a two-sided coin, because a lot of young men struggle with that. They get taken advantage of and they don't understand that, hey, you may be dating the wrong person. Just because your neighborhood promotes, right, that certain guys get certain women. And in your mind, you like, look, I'm not it unless I have that type of woman. I call it like the Will Smith syndrome, you know? Nice, corny guy, square guy. He rapped about nothing but positive stuff, right? He couldn't be a Tupac. So he got the type of money and the type of fame. But see, I'm still Will Smith. I can't be a Tupac, but I can go back and try to get the girls that Tupac had. And you see how it would turn out. Sometimes it's okay not to want to get the girl who has the stripper type vibe. That might not be your lane. You trying to prove that that's your lane. You may be able to deal with it to a certain degree, but consistently that might not be your lane, and that's okay. Maybe your lane is that librarian. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's your lane.
There's nothing wrong with the librarian, I mean. And from what you were saying earlier, Bruiser, like the reason why maybe she didn't want to leave her job to move in with homeboys probably is because that she don't trust in him. I mean, she ain't got no trust in him. His paper might not be up to par. I mean,
Yeah, there's many other reasons, but You know, you date for a number of years, you open your legs and, you know, submit your body to this guy. This guy is proven, you could see it. But I think that it's an excuse, man. I told him, I said, look, man, you can keep dealing with that. Go ahead and do what you gotta do. But me personally, nah, man, you're a good guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no kids. You know, you're on your purpose. You're about to retire. This woman has a lifestyle. You see her, she got her friends. She's always taking pictures, traveling and stuff. She don't want to get that up, man. It's not that she don't trust you. She don't want to get up. A lot of women don't. Once they get the light, once they get a taste to be able to provide for themselves, that's one of the most significant things that happen in the 21st century is women being able to provide happiness for themselves. It's just something that hasn't been relevant. It haven't been evident in time. Well, once a woman is able to do that, it's very, very difficult for her to get that up and let somebody else steer the wheel. And that's just something that I've been able to understand in my research. A woman able to provide happiness for herself and a lifestyle and resources is extremely difficult to impress. She's already a woman. She's already getting guys in her DMs and all that all the time. She's turning down sex. That's nothing. Now she got her lifestyle. Now she has her resources. She's able to make herself happy and travel and do whatever she wants. Yeah, man, you really gonna have to be on some NBA player type shit. You really gonna have to be on some LeBron shit. I don't know, man. It's just women like those, and some people like to call them high value women. But once a woman get to that level, it's really hard to put an impression on her. And I don't think it's a matter of trust. She can see, hey, that man that she's doing well. She can see that this man is doing very well for himself. She's weighing her options. Like, look, I don't really need this dude. You know what I'm saying? I look good. I don't know if I'm really ready for kids. I don't know if I want to be a homemaker. I like my job. I'm at executive level. I travel whenever I want, do whatever I want. I can sleep with whoever I want. Can you, like, even a man, like, that's kind of hard to get. That's already hard enough for a man to give that up. And it's difficult for him to get the same attention from the other sex as a woman does. So imagine that. So you have to really think of that. Like, I gotta give props to any woman who's able to get to that level and just say, okay, I want to be a wife now. And being a wife might not particularly mean that, look, I don't gotta have my own career or my passion. I can continue to do that, but you gotta understand when you have a husband and children, some of those things are gonna have to be turned down a notch. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be able to do it at the same level. You're gonna have to. It's trade-offs. So that's the society we live in today, and we created this society. We could point the finger at women, but men made it to where women could thrive on their own. And what did it do? It kind of reached back and bit us on our own ass. There's no way to clean it up, because then when you try to clean it up or you try to redirect it back to the traditional way, you get hit with the misogynistic, your toxic masculinity, anti-feminism, or whatever. But you're just trying to create a family. You're trying to protect your children. You're just trying to have something. You're just trying to come in this world, build a life for your wife and kids and leave something with them, and that's really hard to do, man, because the things that we're able to do on our own, man, it's just really keeping us apart from each other. And I think this society, the state of the society is just pre-planned for whenever you graduate out of high school, college, to become an individual, to become independent. Like, and everything you do is all about independence. So
No, you're right.
you got to
Even
deviate from that when you get to the top of your peak.
even in the community, man, it's everything. Relationships, community wise, it's all individualism. And I think a lot of times, we're fighting against nature. And I always talk about nature because you got to think about it, your degree, your money, and your trips, and all these things that on both sides, right? You got to look at people who've already been through this stuff, right? You got to look at all the surveys. They say that people that reach a certain amount of success and they're still not happy because you fight nature, right? You can have 4 or 5 degrees. You can travel the world. You can have an excellent, successful career and all that. But with age, when you're 60 years old, when you're 65, you ain't thinking about them 4 degrees on your wall. You ain't thinking about none of those trips. You thinking about the happiness that you currently have and how you're gonna live out the remainder of your unknown amount of time on this earth. So none of that means nothing. So when you put stock in all that, at that time you're looking at companionship. You're looking at just thanking God to wake up every day. You're looking at the things that really matter. All those other things that society has pushed on us and made us so more important than family becomes irrelevant at that time. But see, you don't think about that. You put it off until later. You're chasing a certain amount of success. You got 2 degrees, but you want one more. I'll get a husband later on when you knowing how the dating market is. So you're gonna be willing to wait till you're 37 to find a husband. If any woman who's smart and has it together, she's already been looking. She gonna snatch him. You're looking for leftovers or a guy who's been through what I call relationship debt. Guys who may have been through issues with child support or who may have been married before. They're more hesitant to get back in it. And at that age, guys really don't have to because there's women out here seeking relationships. So guys, we don't have a biological clock. We're not judged by us being married. We're not judged by us having kids. So men can more likely just be single and play the field, whereas a lot of pressure is being put on women. So I think people do themselves the injustice, letting society and the internet promote certain things. You got women who are married to their career, freezing their eggs, and I mean they're pushing 40, still nothing. So when are you gonna do it? 45? No, let me do another year or two of this and that, and the next thing you know, they're 55, 60, and they missed it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the female that's successful with her, her career, whatever, she gonna have a hard time finding a suitable mate because the dudes that she's probably attracted to already dealing with somebody already or got a young chick on the side. You know what I mean? And that's why it's imperative for a chick that's in mid-20s, you know what I mean, to seek a suitable mate and lock them down because there's a lot of chicks out here, doing that hot girl summer type thing. You know what I mean? Yo, give me a sec. I gotta take a leak real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing with these women who get highly successful is during the journey. Are you able to accomplish these tasks without, or are you able to reach this level without becoming a single mother? You get what I'm saying? Or are you able to reach this level without becoming severely mentally unstable to where you can't really deal, your emotions are so unstable, you're not compatible for a relationship. Once you reach this level, every man that you want to date, given a hypergamous nature, it's going to have to be at your level or above. And it's really not, the higher you go as a woman, the smaller the pool of man, the smaller options get. You get what I'm saying? So if you look at Black women specifically, are they willing to date interracially? They got to consider that because there's not a lot of brothers in that top 5 or 6 or 7%. So what do? You're gonna be alone, and that's one of the things. One of the reasons why I admire Kevin Samuels so much because he was able to see all these things and He didn't care about nobody's feelings. He just cared about the truth. And he just told you like it was. And we see it today still, even after he passed, nothing has changed. The conversations are still happening around, but it's, nothing has changed. We just keep having a conversation. And that's why, I started my a channel, another channel called, the Love Cause channel, where I try to talk to females individually. We for the past 2-3 years, we done beat this dog of talking about the statistic and just generalizing women, putting them in a category based off of our perception. But then now you gotta, okay, how long are we gonna continue to have the conversation that way? Is it moving the needle? Not really. It's getting views, it's entertaining. I think it's more entertaining than actually coming up with a solution, doing it that way. So I just took it upon myself to just talk to a woman by woman, and just see. And I've been able to see that, damn, like a lot of women are different. A lot of women mindsets are different. There's similar things, there's similar tendencies, but for the most part, the reason why they make these decisions is completely different. There's completely different circumstances. So, and then until you have this conversation with them individually, you'll never be able to see why they made these decisions. You could say that statistically, single women are horrible, but there's single moms are horrible today. But if you talk to one, then you might see a single mom that's actually good today. She's actually a good woman. She just have a couple of things that she needs fixed, and you might just be the one to be able to fit in her life to fix those issues. And that's why I tell brothers, like, I'm not knocking you, bro. I wouldn't do it. What I'm saying is, I feel like I'm capable of finding a woman who don't have kids. That's just my preference. I have my own personal preference, but I have run across females. I have spoken to females who had kids that would be a good fit for me in a relationship. It's not her. We keep saying it's single moms. It's not really her. It's the kid. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to point the finger at the kid, because then how would that paint you out to look? You can't say, a woman's kids is the worst thing. You can't go around saying that. Your channel probably get taken down. So you gotta say single moms. But it's really the children. Like, can you imagine raising somebody else's kids, you giving order and direction in the household, and you getting pushed back, and there's nothing you can do? But you got to provide resources for these little knuckleheads. Can you imagine that?
It's crazy, because it's like, yo, you got full responsibility and no authority, man. And I always advise young men not to be the cleanup guy, man. Because, yo, honestly, man, a dude that take care of another man's child is a sucker. And that's some sucker shit. And I'm real big on staying sucker free out here, man. Because staying sucker free is the campaign, man. Hey, yo, Fat, man, what's your thoughts on the night? What is some advice you can give him to stay sucker free?
You asked me, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
What up, Fatty?
Good. Hey, after Fatty, I'm gonna jump back in on a single mom thing. Coming from a former single father.
Let me just say, I think the sucker free thing, I think we need to be a little bit more pragmatic about this, right? A lot of us are not going to qualify for a top model. A lot of us are not going to qualify for a woman with no kids. It's a math issue, right? And we try to shame men into not doing a job that is vital for society, which is taking care of a lot of these kids that have no guidance, no male figure, all that. I think is not productive. I think it's not productive, and we could do two things at the same time. We could tell men, hey, bro, it's a uphill battle. It's not a good deal to take it at all. But if you can manage, hey, man, it's an honorable role. If you can do a good job, I'm not going to come here and call you sucker, knowing that you are with a woman for 15 years and those kids look at you as a dad and they respect you and all that. You see what I'm saying? We can present, man, the realistic problems of dating single mothers and still champion the ones that can do it and the ones that at least try to do it in a way where they are going to mentor those kids, give some guidance to those kids, and make sure that those kids are not going to become problem for us in 15 years, 10 years, 20 years. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think this space we got into a space where it's very polarizing. Either you are a ladies' man and a bachelor, and you have a 16 years marriage, and you can have $1 million, or you're broke, you're an incel, you are like is either one or the other. I think we need to introduce nuance to this. Some of us are going to have to take care of those kids, and it's very okay for you to come to that guy and say, "Hey, man, it's going to be challenging. You might lose a lot. When you break up with her, you are going to break up with those kids too, because there's nothing you can do to see those kids again if you don't adopt them. And if you adopt them, you are going to have to pay child support for a kid that is not yours. Be very careful and minded. This is the shitty deal that we're taking you. If you think it's good enough, take it. And if you're successful, congratulations. You are a guy that needs to be respected on this society because you did your job. I think we can do both. You see what I'm saying?
I agree with you on the fact that the cleanup guy is doing the honorable thing, but I think it's time to wake up a lot of these dudes right now so that they can stay sucker free from doing that, man. Because it's like you said, man, like yo, you bring shorty in your crib, you take care of those kids at your house, from a 10-year span. You will be liable for child support for some kids that's not yours, man. And I think that's some sucker shit, y'all mean? And stay sucker free is my campaign, man. Hey,
Nixon,
yo, Bruiser, man, give me your thoughts on that too.
Can you give me just 1 second before you guys go? I just want to say 5 seconds or something.
Right.
We need to acknowledge reality. Suckers will always exist. Simps will always exist. The only thing we can do is presenting the information, just like we do to this woman, and say, if you want to join the dark side, go ahead and do it. But this is a path for the light. We are not going to try to manipulate them and say, you are this. No, here's the information. If you want to stay a sucker, go ahead and do it. If you don't, there's another path to do it. But like pushing them and shame them and all that, I think you're just making people tune out from the conversation, because a lot of us, a giant majority of us, either are marrying hoes, are dating baby mamas, we are on relationships that are unstable, we are bored of our marriages, we are unhappy because we are single, we shaming a person that is in front of us, and listen, oh, you are an incel, you need to do this. You are just going to tune out people. That's not pragmatic at all.
Because a lot of times when these dudes get involved with these retired 304s, they don't know the red flags when they link up with these smuts. You know what I mean? And a lot of times a dude will wife up a smut. Yeah, you're right. But he may not have the knowledge to understand the red flags that come with that smut. You know what I mean? And I'm not shaming dudes from not dealing with baby mothers. I'm just, letting them know, getting them hip to the game on the mechanics of dealing with a baby mother. You know what I mean? Because there's no good outcome that comes with that, man. You're always going to take it out when you make a move like that. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, though. Everybody doesn't take the L. When you say baby mom, right? You're not taking account of the woman that you're dealing with. So whether she has a child or not, right? If that woman is not a good woman, everything that is attached to her is not going to be good. So if she's not a good woman, her being a baby mom is not going to be good. If she's a good woman and she understands structure, maybe she was in a situation that she was married and the husband passed away, or it just didn't work and she got to hold it down. That doesn't mean because she has a child, she should be put in a category with other women that she might not even
see, what you're talking about, that's a normal female. I'm talking about the ones that sleep around, get knocked up, have abortions, have 3 different baby daddies and all that. And sometimes the righteous man will, because it's in his nature to look out for the female like that, he will, take the L and wife up that chick that got 3 different baby daddies, man. And
that's what we're talking. But that's what he's talking about. If, for example, I have a wife for 10 years, she had one body for 10 years, she has 2 kids, she separates from me, she meets somebody. Is she less valuable than the woman that was being at parties and getting run through, and now she's 33 and trying to decide to get married. Because this, most of us, including me, probably are going to marry hoes. Most like the average age of marriage is 30. They're 29. These women be fucking since they were 16. So that's the thing. Unfortunately, you are going to most likely get a bad deal for most part. Most men are going to get a bad deal. When I say bad deal, you're going to get a car with miles. Just depends on the accident that car had before. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a pick and choose, because pick your battles. Very few of us are winners. Very few of us are going to get a woman with 3 bodies, respectable past, no kids, pristine. That's not most of us. So we have to come with reality that if we're going to engage on a game that is kind of rigged, because women have the advantages in 2023, and there's a lot of guys that are willing to take everybody leftovers, we are going to educate them into the pros and cons of engaging in relationships, because most of them still want them. So the sucker shit is interesting, because I'm 34. I am not looking for marriage, but I'm open to change my mind, because I'm not the person that I was 5 years ago. If at 40 I'm bored because I'm hyper rich and I have conquered everything, and I'm here on these conversations for 5 years, and I want to have a kid and a family, if I pick a woman that is 32, I'm probably going to be a sucker and a loser, because that woman had 4 boyfriends and 27 no night stands before. That's the reality of the game on the West right now. If you get up late, if you get up early, you might find something special. If you get something under 30s, you're probably going to have to roll the dice. So it is what it. I think we just have to accept reality. This is a gamble. I know, and Bruce always says that I'm very negative.
I think because guys are so cool about chicks being a passing round, that they know that they don't have to up their step their game up on preserving themselves, because they know there's going to be a dude that's going to wife them up anyway. And I think dudes need to fall back on that until the game goes back to normal.
They won't fall back. There's the reality. Men are not going to get off this. Men, you know what's funny? As soon as they get their life together, you know what they want to do? Oh, I have my house right now. Let me get a woman. Oh, I have my mansion now. Let me get a woman. Oh, my business is booming. Let me get a woman. There's in our nature to go and get a woman. Like Bruce says that I'm usually like I have a negative point of view when it comes to relationship, right? But I think it's more of a realistic approach. If I get married, I understand.
I think the thing when you say you want to be sucker free, you don't want to be a sucker. I think being a sucker in today's society is dating without intention. I think as a man, you really got to be intentional on what you want to do.
That's fair.
I don't think it makes you a sucker dating somebody who had multiple a list of partners in the past. What makes you a sucker is dating a woman, knowing that she wants to be in a are you smashing a woman who you know she wants to be in a serious relationship, but you don't have any intentions of being in a relationship. So you're kind of making her the 304 or promiscuous or whatever with sexual trauma. I think that's what makes you a sucker. And I think that if I'm a single man and I know for a fact that I don't have any intentions of being in any committed relationship, any marriage, I just want to get my rocks off. I'm not going to mess with a woman who has an intention of being in a relationship. I'm going to say, no, I pass. You look beautiful. I would hit, but I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go find a woman that's a 304. I'm going to find a woman that's down to do it. And I'm going to get an NDA or whatever. I'm going to, give her a couple $100 or whatever. That's how I'm going to move. I'm going to go, delve into that group of women. I'm not going to go in and pollute the women that wants to have something. And I think that's what makes you a sucker. It also makes you a sucker is having the intention of being in a committed relationship, but you're still dating the women that clearly don't want to. They clearly don't want to be in a committed relationship with you. They just want to smash, but you're trying to force her into it. That is what makes you a sucker.
Right. So the thing is, I was a single father previously. So, I know that my presentation had to be, pretty good compared to men that didn't have kids, because you would have to volunteer your time, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be with me. That's what I'm saying. I listen, my situation now, I'm with a phenomenal woman, who has a child, right? I have a child as well. I have a 5-year-old. But see, it's not more of me worrying that she's a single mother because, I have a son. It's about the woman that I'm spending my time with. And I wouldn't trade her, for another situation, or maybe somebody who has a kids are out the house. It's the woman that I'm dealing with. My opinion, she's phenomenal. So I'm not going to trade her. And I'm 48, bro. I know enough right now to know what I want. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, as far as being intentional, yeah, they're out there messing with the wrong women from the beginning. You know the type of woman that you messing with. You know, you know if she's exhibiting certain behavior by now, and a lot of men are not honest with themselves. You know the type of, just like women. You ain't got no business messing with that person. You know what I'm saying? If you know they got all this background and all these things, your ego is, I can make it work, or, I can wife them up and I can change them. I mean, we've made mistakes, and the older you get, you understand where your mistakes are. You understand certain things that you didn't listen to, certain intuitions, certain things that presented themselves, certain things that you allow. But I mean, this whole putting this thing on baby mamas and stuff like that, I wouldn't say that. It's got to a point that, the rhetoric that we're teaching, and okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right. My nephew, just had a talk with him yesterday. He was talking a whole lot of red pill stuff, right? Just had a baby. He's having some issues with his baby mama. Now, he didn't intend on being with the woman. Had unprotected sex. She got pregnant. Now he's got all these issues, right? He's complaining that he's going through something with his baby mama. Welcome to being a man in that type of situation. A lot of us have been in that situation. He at a point now where he just like he don't want to deal with it. So I mean, what you mean? He's like, I'm thinking about just taking the L. What the hell you mean taking the L? Oh, I'll maybe deal with it when she's old enough to talk to me. I'll just come back to it. What the hell you mean? But you talking about single moms in 3 or 4 culture at the same time contributing to that same rhetoric. So you're gonna have a woman with a child, and so another man can look at her and say, "No, you're undesirable because you got a woman with a child, because you were with a man who walked away from his responsibility." So I mean, it's like you got dudes with kids in 3 different homes shaming women who are in a situation where it didn't work, or maybe the man walked away. That's kind of hypocritical, bro. So you got 3 baby mamas in that situation where you got other men that can talk about them being single moms, but you get to walk away and luckily find someone who don't have a kid, or their child is not in the home. So if you got a whole bunch of people doing that, you're putting that into the environment. So damn, who are we actually dating? Who can we date? At 40 something, you mean you tell me you're gonna find a woman at 40 who don't have no kids? I mean, at that age, you're lucky to find someone who's out the house. The kids are maybe in college, but at
There's a
40,
lot of leftover women, bro.
so
There's a lot of leftover women. 35 ain't got never been married, no kids, no nothing. Ain't gonna die alone. That's just what we're dealing with. But I get what you're saying, man. But we live in a society where women make the choices on who comes into this world. You get what I'm saying? So
right.
I can't really. I know it's a good argument, but for a man, you really can't argue against a woman who's received your seed. And even if you decided you didn't want to have a kid, or it may not be a good idea for y'all to have a kid, she still got reserved the right to make the decision over you.
Right.
And a lot of these women are moving in a way where, nope, I'm gonna have this kid. There's resources I can have to where I don't have to work as hard. It all depends on who you're dealing with, and that's the reason why, like, I kind of changed the way I move. I wanted to start talking to a woman individually to see what she say, like see how it came to be for her. Like, I had a woman on my panel. I mean, not panel, but on my in an interview, who got 4 different baby daddies. Like, how How does that happen? Like, how do you continue to have kids? Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't understand that. I don't understand how a woman can have multiple baby fathers. I just don't. You never been married. You have 4 baby fathers. And most of these kids are within a year or two of each other. So then you got to look at the guys that's out here knocking them up. Like, she's got a baby in the crib while you smashing her raw.
Right. Right.
Like, what are we even doing, man? That's why I said, man, which makes us suckers is knowing better and still doing the opposite. Like, you don't want to marry this woman. You don't have any intention of committing to her.
Right.
She's not giving you any sign that she's going to be a wife. Even if she has 10 bodies, you can go and you can have sex from as a girl from 16 to 20, 25 years old, whatever, and still find a husband. I've seen it done. It doesn't make you a sucker. That man found something in this woman that he liked, and they made it work. Ain't shit I
But
can do
Bruce,
about it. It may
but
not work
first
for me, but I can't knock the other guy that it works for.
but first question, and look, I'm in my 40s, so that I went through my period, when I had to learn. You got to start asking guys, number one, why are we out here engaging and having sex with women that we couldn't see any value or future in the first place? I mean, how important is sex? Like when guys move like sex is the end all be all, that's where we get caught up. You know what I'm saying? Like we get caught up with our mission and we get caught up in our goals. We want to smash as many women as we can. Like at some time, I know people hate to hear dick discipline, but when you out here having sex with women that you have no intention, you don't see no future, no value, or she may have a nice body, but she may not be attractive in the face, or it's just one of those things. The end result is always a child can be produced out of that. So the thing about it is, no matter when you talk about what women do with single moms, or we put it on them, or how women are, you know, you didn't protect your seed. That's your seed. Those are your resources, your money, your seed, and all that. If you've given all that stuff to the wrong person and putting it in their hand, once you put it in their hand, they could spend it, whether it's financially or if it's your seed, they can do whatever they want with it.
And I think
And
Ali
that's
made
what
a
you
good
got to deal
point.
with. So
He
after the
said that
fact, when you
because
talk about child support and what she did or whatever, you know how this works. So now you're complaining about a process that you handed over. You put yourself in that position. 1 + 1 = 2 every time. My bad. Finish.
and Ali made a good point. He said because that's the culture now. We're going back to our nature. It's being a man. And you got to understand one thing. We built the society and we curated it in a way to where being a man is not optimized anymore. Being a man in your own nature is not optimized. The laws and the way the government gets into your family and the family courts, it's not optimized for you to move in your nature anymore because now your seeds are at risk whenever you move in that way. Like versus before, then we had that issue. Now when you go in here dropping kid here, drop a kid here, drop a kid here, now the government's at play. Now these kids can be turned into criminals. You get what I'm saying? These kids will be separated from their families, put in foster care and all these other things, and out on the street and have all these childhood issues. You can't, your nature isn't the way we used to operate as men in this society is not fit for that type of operation anymore. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't have any control over our seed like we used to. You get what I'm saying? So now what do you do? Do you continue to say, fuck it, I don't care what they become bastards and criminals and do whatever the hell they want to do. I'm gonna act in my nature and I'm gonna just knock up any woman I want because I'm a man. Or
Yeah,
you're gonna say, I care about the lives that I can potentially create, and I'm gonna just dial it back because you may have a spiritual connection with a higher being that you have a relationship with that may say, hey, look, maybe that's not a good idea. You may be judged for your behavior, when it's all said and done. So I look at those things, man, like mm, I could have a lot of women. Before I got married, I could have done all those things, but I had a vision of something else, and that's just what I wanted to have. But I'm not knocking the other man. If you want to go in your nature and do it that way, then that's on you. It's just you got to live with the consequences.
Yeah, but bro, there's a fallacy, right? Most men are practicing the discipline because they can get more. Most men have 5 bodies, 7 bodies. They don't have 30 bodies. They don't have 20 bodies. Most men, the average man, doesn't have 10 bodies. That's the reality. They practice discipline because they can get an abundance of woman. So when they get one woman, they cherish them a little bit more. I tyranny. They cherish him a little bit more than the man that has all the woman. I think discipline is a big fallacy. Like, because I don't know if you notice, nobody talks about vagina discipline. If women control sex, there's their job to control who has access to their body. That's their job and their unique job. You are not going to make men that are starving for sex to say, hey, bro, you need to value this and you need to value that. No. If the women are the ones that have the most risk, their bodies changes, they're going to postpartum depression, their hormone changes and all that, they need to be the one to control in the market. Is the only thing that I give to women for them to control whatever is going on here. Let the men carry the weight. Let the men be the providers. Let the men be the protectors. Let the men be the constructors. But you have to be the gatekeeper for who has access to sex and who doesn't have access. Because what is happening right now is women are not being selective to the amount of men, to the quality of men, which is more important, that get inside of their bodies. And we are having to face major repercussions because I can be the best leader. Nixon can be the best leader. Everybody, we can have a village with 90 men that are righteous and honest. If 10 men are reckless and 10 men go around just fucking and fucking and fucking, everybody by the end of the year, by the end of 5 years, you're gonna have 30 kids that have no dads, and that's just 1%, 5%, 10% of men that can create a massive damage. So even if men are on that P's and Q's, and most of them are acting rightfully, is the woman's job to actually stop the 10 men that are not from making 50 kids with like 5 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys with 50 kids because they're running around having kids left and right. I think that woman job is not the man job.
I think you trying to paint the equivalence as you say a man starved, you can't beat up a man who's starving for sex. It's up to the woman to have the discipline. It's similar to a man starving for food. So it's up to the grocery store to make sure the doors are locked at night so they don't go in there and take it.
Wait. No. It's not. That's a word. That's a bad analogy. A woman has a choice. A woman can give sex.
A man also has a choice.
But that's not the point, because look at
You know why it's the point? You know why it's the point? You know why it's the point? Because I think a young man's protection as a 17, 16, 15-year-old, once you're able to get into puberty, your first protection is not being able to get sex at the same rate as a woman. Imagine a young 17-year-old, 18-year-old, male DMs flooded with thousands of women trying to give it to him. You know how fucked up the world will be? I think we're very, very lucky that we don't get the opportunity at the same rate as a woman.
You miss the point.
Because we can make babies. If we have sex with 10 women at one time, the 10 women can get pregnant.
Yes, but you're not listening.
That can't happen for a woman. That's why I think it's designed that way.
Bruiser, let's do math. Let's do math. Right? I like these math. You have a village, 100 men and 100 women. Bruiser is the leader. Bruiser is the mentor. 90% of those men are righteous. It's a gigantic amount of men. It's like the best you can do. 90% of them, and 10% are pieces of shit. Right? They scammers. They drug dealers. They sell dreams to women just to get inside of their panties, all of that. If 90% of those men are righteous, but those 10 men make 3 baby mamas each, there's 30 kids with no dads at home in 5 to 10 years. This is what I'm talking about. You can teach men to put a dick inside their pants. You can teach 90 of the 10, and everybody's like, man, Bruiser is a magnificent leader. He controlled this man on this society. If
I really
woman
don't
give,
understand
if
your math on that. I mean,
one second, if woman keep giving access to these 10 pieces of shit that are not no good for men and nobody's championed them, you are going to have the same problem, even though 90% of the men corrected themselves and they are not engaging in casual sex. So what you have to say is, woman, please don't give access. There's Fatty over there. Fatty and his 9 friends. They are pieces of shit. They are selling you a dream. Don't give sexual access to them.
you
Go give
can't
sexual access
honestly
to the
believe
other
that your
guys.
math is correct.
So
You said
correct it.
90% of the male population versus
Yes.
10%. You think 10% is going to out populate?
10% of men can make massive damage on the community. This is what we're talking about. Like this case is of 7 men there, 70 kids in Memphis, 5 guys at 13 baby mamas each, deep cannons, futures. A small amount of men, like 10 men, let's go with 2 baby mamas. 10 men can create 20 kids that don't have fathers at their home in 2 years, because they just go and fuck around and these women are giving access to these men. So more than dick discipline, which is something that would work but is not going to work because you can get there's enough numbers, women need to start to ask for a massive investment.
Because you're not telling us what the 90 men. You're telling us what 10 men are doing, but you're not telling us what 90 men are doing. You just said they're right.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Hey, let me say something, and then after that, I'm gonna recognize Tyranny on the panel. Now, see what she want to say. But here's the thing, right? When it comes to those men that are, maybe having 5 sex partners, I would say the same thing that I say to ladies. Like, what are you doing, right? What are you doing in your situation to make your situation more desirable? And if you look at the space as a whole, you got a bunch of men here spending 12 hours a day on here. You know what I mean? Won't turn on their cam. You know what I mean? Because, they're insecure about, their presentation. Or if you have a lot of free time to complain about certain things and you're in a financial situation, that means you have enough time to get your ass a second job. That means you have enough time to get in the gym. That means you have enough time to do certain things that may make you more desirable. But if you spend time complaining about a thing, you can't actually improve a thing. So that's my thing. What are you doing if you're complaining that I can't get these women, I can't do? First of all, if women hear you saying what you can and can't do, their pussy already dried up because you ain't got no confidence. First of all, there's a million of ugly dudes with the baddest chicks. There's a million dudes who sleeping on women's couch with the baddest chicks, and they can still pull them. You know what I mean? And it ain't, for some women, ain't about being attractive. Like, this dude got confidence. I know a lot of women mad right now that they got by an ugly dude. They can't believe they got scammed by an ugly dude that got game. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have nothing else, but this man got 2 bags full of clothes. You know what I'm saying? And got game. So the thing is, and I say the same thing to women when they say, oh, hoes are winning, hoes are women. And I tell them, okay, well, what are you doing? Are you just giving that same missionary sex? Or are you just boring? What are you doing? You refuse to do what this other woman is doing to get what she's getting? If you refuse to do that, then you're going to get what you get. That's what it is. But going back to dick discipline, right? Take a man and a woman who's in college, a woman who's in nursing school, right? Let's give a scenario, right? Both have a test in the morning, right? So let's say a woman going to nursing school and a guy want to come over. She'll tell him, no, not tonight because I got a test tomorrow. What's the guy going to say most likely? Okay, cool. Guy got a test tomorrow and a woman called him. She want to come over. Hey, I got a test tomorrow. All she got to say, well, if you won't let me come tonight, then don't worry about it. You know what the man's going to do? He going to say, all right, you can go ahead and come over. Because we prioritize pussy more than anything. That's why young women, like he's saying, it's a maturity thing at a young age. Women will put their careers and everything first because they know there's going to be men. But see, men, a lot of young men will put pussy first before they put anything. And now, dick discipline. My thing is, if you chase women, you always, we know the saying, you never going to have no money. If you chase your purpose and career, then women always going to be there later on. They not that important. At 23 years old, my son don't play. If a woman is interrupting his money and his goals, my son will drop him. I wasn't like that at 23. I made sure that I taught my son better than that. My son don't play about his stuff. Women can come later. It's not important. They always going to be there. But if you choose the wrong partner, you know what I'm saying? Or let me put it this way. One of the most important things that you can do in your life is choosing the right partner. Because it can go good and it can go bad. And other things can come out of it, like kids and other stuff like that. So listen, in your young 20s, man, forget all that, man. What's your purpose? What do you want to do? You want to go to college? You want to do all that stuff now. Don't worry about having
interject real quick. I got shout out to Super Chat. My bad, Mr. Nixon. L Nixon. Yo, shout out to 187 for the $5 Super Chat. Salute to you, man. I appreciate the love, man. Yeah, yo, keep going. I want to get Terrence's perspective on a nice guy and all that, and what we've been expounding on for the past hour and 46 minutes. So
don't come up here being extra smart because you look smart in them glasses.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like Bruiser because I wanted to look smart too. I'll say some crazy stuff. But so I have two sons, and their father teaches them, yeah, you're gonna get all the ladies, yeah, you're gonna get all the girls. But their mother, is teaching them, you're gonna get your face in them books. Okay. Don't go out there putting your weenie in these girls. I hear this talking point all the time that women control access to sex. But let's flip it. Let's just say I'm the horny one and I want it. Okay. You men actually have the control of sex as well. You're the ones that can say, no, I'm not going to poke you. Okay. We should be teaching our sons to value what they got down there and that sex equals baby versus, going and having sex with these girls because it's the cool thing to do, and just makes you look all whatever. I guess I don't know, but I don't agree with blaming everything on women. I think in 2023, with all of the things that us as Black people have gone through, because that's the only people I'm really concerned about, we should be learning and teaching ourselves. Okay, you know what? I say I'm the leader. I say I'm the man, and I say that the woman should follow me and lead me, and the man is the leader of the community. Well, why don't we start training ourselves and our leaders the righteous things to do with their women? It's not all about control. It's not all about submission, because a woman submits to what she sees fit. I don't just submit to a panel of men, but I will submit to someone that is, being nice and being kind and, just having a care and knowing that there is a woman on the panel as well. So, I mean, I feel like if y'all men want us women to take more accountability and control, give us the leadership. But if you want to keep your leadership that was given to you by God's nature, you have to act as the kings that was given to you and start controlling yourself as well. And then one more thing I heard you guys saying earlier about not just the access to sex, but I forgot. It'll come back to me later. It'll come back.
Shout out to Ali. He the sponsor for today. The $19.99 Super Chat. Appreciate it. I guess this is going towards you, Miss Tanny. He says over 50% of men aren't married and don't have kids. Women see only 20 to 30% of men. Men don't have to practice discipline when they barely get it. The women who are having more sex recklessly are the problem. What's your rebuttal to that?
So again, responsibility is on both sides. You poke, I take. It's if I'm not taking, it's because you're not poking. And if you're not getting women, then you're getting men. I mean, stop acting like y'all are just not having sex. Stop the cap. Or maybe you're just too old and you can't perform as good. But about the marriage, stop having sex with women that you don't plan on marrying. I was just on another panel and I heard other men say, I've never had sex with a woman I didn't see my future in. So if you guys sit here saying there's so many baby mamas, initially, whose fault is that? Because we can't get on one knee and ask you guys to marry us. That's
fair.
law.
That's fair. Do you engage in casual sex?
I do. I'm in a relationship.
No, do you engage in, like, when you are single, because you've been single, have you ever engaged in casual sex? Like, I like this guy. I like this guy. He's not my husband. He's not my boyfriend, but I'm going to fuck him because I like him. Yes or no?
Younger? Absolutely. 30 and up? No.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
So that's the thing. During wherever you started until 30, which is probably 13 years, 12 years, you did whatever you wanted to do. This is the thing. And like you, Tyranny, there's millions of women that are doing exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
You guys control access to sex. When you say no, you know what men are going to say? Oh, she needs a ring. She needs a job. She needs this. So this is what I'm going to get to try to actually qualify to work. The same way we qualify to college by having good grades. The same way we qualify to a job by having those grades at school. The same way we qualify to a credit by getting our credit score. Men are problem solvers. If they want something and they need to have something to get something, that's exactly what they're going to do. But because women are not asking for nothing. Instead of me, one second, Tyranny. The only thing I'm asking women, and again, it's not a lot, is remember the times when you used to meet somebody, know somebody, and then fuck somebody, and like, instead of fucking somebody and then say, do I like him? Nah. Right? Because that's what is happening right now. We meet somebody, we fuck them, and then we figure out if we like them or not. Do the opposite, please. Meet somebody, figure out if you like them or not, meet them, the parents, go around, build a little bit of a relationship, and then when the person invests in you, now you give whatever you want to give to that person. But if you guys don't do that part of the game, men are not going to buy the cow if they can get the meal for free. They are not going to do it. End of the story.
Let me respond to the super chat Ali said.
Okay.
I don't think barely getting sex is an excuse to not practice dick discipline. You can barely stick your pecker halfway into a vagina, and the prenup is enough to get a woman pregnant. It's not about the rate. It's about having kids unintentionally and ruining society. That's what it's about. It's, you just got to understand, as a man, you still have power and control over your seed. You can decide what woman you want to impregnate. It's your decision. We always reserve that decision. No woman can come up to us and take our seed out of our balls. Mm-hmm. I've never seen it happen. Regardless of whatever way you twist it, we still have that right. We still have control. Mm-hmm. And all I'm saying is just protect your seed. And I think she said something about give us leadership. What do you mean give us the leadership?
I mean, if y'all blame us for everything, give us the rulership and then let us take control.
That's the leadership.
You guys want us to hold accountability for everything, but you don't want us to be the leader.
Tyranny, that's the leadership. Close your legs. Yes, sir. And you move on. That's the leadership.
What does leadership for a woman look like? Like, what?
Okay, if you're gonna blame us for. Okay, if you're gonna blame us for everything, when I come home, you better make sure that the food is cooked and the house is clean. Okay, if you're gonna blame me for everything, and if you want me to take accountability as a leader supposed to, then you better make sure that when I want some, you bend it over and give it to me.
But do you see how you guys are not listening? Do you see how none of you guys are listening? So the leadership is. Brother, 1 second, please.
What you mean by
brother, 1 second, please. The leadership is one little thing. Close your legs. We handle everything. After you close your legs, we will handle everything you need. Please. Close your legs. This is a man telling you, as a leadership, as a community, please close your legs. And instead of you guys saying, oh, is all that only what you want? Yes, sir. And I'm going to go about my life. I don't know if I can do that. Why do I have to do that? Why don't you guys have to close your... You are asking for directions. And when we give one simple direction, it's not 7,000. You can follow. You're going to fight us again. And we're going to be on the same place. If you are not willing to follow one direction, you're not going to be willing to follow the other 5, 7, 8.
So as a leader,
let's invite Ali.
Let me just right quick. I promise. If you want us to do that, you have to show by example. Did you hear me? If you want us to do that, you have to show by example.
Okay.
So just like I take the poking, you are the poker. You can control. Hold on, right? I promise you. I'll be quick. I promise you. You guys have a lot more control over sex than us women. That's all I'm saying. You guys can do it too.
Hold on. Let me shout out the super chat real quick. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Salute to Ali again. He the sponsor for real. The $19.99. What he said on the super chat, I guess it's for you, Miss Tierney. I don't want you or the baby. I'm the leader. Listen to me, woman. I want to be a single mother and not listen. It's my body, my choice. The man wanted to keep you childless. You choose to be single mother before a wife. What's your rebuttal to that? Talk to me.
My rebuttal is stop dating.
Yo, hold on. Yo, before you, I just got hit with a. Oh, yo, man, L Nixon, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love, bro. Salute to you, King. Appreciate the what do you call that? The cash app joint? Yeah. Yo, another $19.99. Yo, salute to this thing right here. Yo. I guess it's for you, Miss Tierney. Y'all keep saying man doesn't want a kid, but he nuts. He nuts in you. He has no choice now. The woman can't take plan B or abort. They're the leaders not listening. They choose to be single mothers. Yo, honestly, I feel I'm on that because men don't have reproductive rights in this country. So what's your rebuttal?
I mean,
and can I say something real quick before she go on those two comments? Two things that you really have to look at, and then this allows you to gauge how a person thinks when they make the decisions. Notice he said, "I don't want you or the baby. I'm the leader. Listen to me." In order for him to say, "I don't want the baby," shouldn't he have accountability for having unprotected sex?
Yes.
And the same thing is for y'all keep saying it's a man decision and the man doesn't want a kid, but he nuts in you. But he's saying it as if the phrase, "but he nuts in you," he had no choice over that. I've nutted a lot in my life, bro. And I've used protection a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm still harping on that. You still have a decision to put the glove on it. And you can't really say I'm a leader if you're gonna nut and then the chance and then you're gonna try to bank off the chances of her getting pregnant or not. That's not being a leader. I think being a leader is reverse engineering it. You win in the battle before it starts. Like, okay, look, I'm gonna go have sex with this woman. I know that I don't want a kid. I don't know what she's thinking. I'm not gonna rely on that. It's too much risk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna protect my seed. I'm not gonna go in her raw. And that's where I think the conversation gotta start before you even get to the point where women are doing this, women choose to be single mothers. The conversation has to start as, are you being responsible as a man with your seed?
Right.
But Bruiser, here's the thing, right? The leadership, right? The position of leadership, right? And even talking about leadership in a whole, right? You lose that argument when you deflect everything to what a woman does. You know what I'm saying? Like if a woman would close their legs, then because I don't have control, then I wouldn't actually have sex with her. She got to actually close her legs for me not to get caught up in a situation where I don't really like her or the child, but I'm gonna nut her anyway. And if a kid is there, then it is what it is. She could have stopped all that if she just told me no. Or I ain't trying to have no kid. I only rock with you like that. I'm good. I'm not even gonna fuck with you because X, Y, Z could happen. You already wild. No, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, look, I can afford not to have sex. Now we can defer back to guys that don't have sex and what are they supposed to do or whatever. Okay, let's say if you're the guy not having sex. So that's gonna be your excuse to just get the wrong girl pregnant. Like, oh, it's my first chance to get some. I'm gonna take it because I only had sex twice this year. I mean, come on, man. Like, listen, and I always refer back to the military. I could never blame everything on my subordinates if I'm the leaders. I mean, if it's on my watch, it's on my watch. Now you have to deal with what happens while on your watch, and everything happen. Yeah, that's gonna be on you. But at the same time, and it's no disrespect to women, but I don't give a damn what women want. When it comes to my seed, my resource, or whatever, I can say no. You get mad if you don't want to. I mean, and I get it. We can everybody in this conversation can argue from a different standpoint. I'm not going to argue that, because we can argue for men who you can't say discipline because to them they don't get it enough to even have that in the conversation. What I'm saying is, can some men actually turn down sex?
Yes.
I mean, there's some people who actually, what I'm saying, been in hotels and didn't even try nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or went over a woman's house and even didn't want to do nothing. Now
Mhm.
I get it. Some men like, yeah, but you're the guy that can do that. I get that. But at the same time, it's a decision when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You having sex with the wrong person and you want to feel it raw and you don't thinking that a child can be produced and now you want to put it on her. We can't give over things and then expect people to do right with it if we don't want to be in that situation. I'm just saying, like, I hear the talk a lot of how it's women, 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 women. I get it. But then don't call yourself a leader then. Then that rhetoric that, oh girl, which I'm not gonna talk about, then you're basically saying it's true. You mean to tell me as a man, you are not responsible enough to make the decision. So since you want to blame women, they should be leading because the situation would turn out right. Because if they decide what to do with their legs or open it up, you're going to follow their lead. That's what that's saying. Now, I'm not going to say women don't do a certain thing or don't do a certain behavior. You can put women in different groups. These are a group of women I don't want to deal with. But we spend so much time talking about the women that you don't want to deal with. And I get some guys need to know, don't mess with these women. But we never talk about the women that you should go after. And a lot of these young guys are still confused.
Mhm.
So it starts and it ends with us. We got to admit sometimes we wasn't that dude. We didn't know how to say no. We didn't know how to stand on something. We didn't set boundaries in a relationship and we got burnt. It's okay to say that. You get better at that and then you learn, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. 9 out of 10, if she respect you and you got confidence and she feel you a man, she going to be like, okay, cool. She going to rock with you. If she don't, get rid of her. Simple.
And it's way more at this point. Once the baby's created, because I know he said abort, bro. Listen to me. Not everybody follows the laws, the demonic laws of the land. So let's not do that. Let's not act like abortion is just an option for everybody. We're not going to do that. Okay. Even Plan B is a form of abortion. So don't even mention that as if it's an option. But once the kid is born, it's about that kid.
What do you guys think of vasectomies?
Vasectomy? I mean, for what?
Yes.
Aren't you
What do
less
you
of
guys
a
think?
man if you cut your sack off? I mean,
Yes. What do you guys think of vasectomies?
What?
that's how I feel. You're less of a man. It's like
No,
You
no,
are
cutting.
definitely less of a man. You cut your sack.
But I just wanted to say this. Like I said, it's not about blaming the woman or blaming the man at that point. It's
Yes.
about the kid. And now we got
Yes.
all these poor kids in our community because it takes a village to raise a child, not a mother. It takes a village to raise a child. Now we got all these kids out here with lesser education, didn't get to grow up as wealthy as other people just because their father said, well, I didn't want to be with her and she didn't want to have that baby, so let her have it. But I think vasectomy is a way out. It's a coward. It's an evil way out. It's an evil way out.
So this is what I'm talking about, right? You guys want the man to do what's righteous for the family, for the kids, for the community. And when we talk about put the dick on their panties, don't go around impregnating women left and right. That's the reality. That's what we ask in men. Don't go around putting kids on women that you're not going to take care of. That's exactly what men want. And when we say and ask, hey, what is your opinion about vasectomies? Oh, you are a coward. There's no way out. You know what you said there, tyranny? Because as soon as the man gets a vasectomy, the woman loses all the fucking power. She controls nothing. The man controls everything to the point of even my seed. You have to file 7 forms for you to qualify to be my mother. This is why women look at this shit, and then, like I told you, every time we propose solutions that are viable, close your legs. Don't be fucking Pookie and Ray Ray. Oh, Pookie and Ray should control their pants. They should put their dick on their pants. What about having a vasectomy? Oh, there's a coward way out. You want to have all the options and want to have all the power to have all the control about what happened on the relationship, if you have sex, if you carry a kid or not. You control if the guy goes raw on you, if the guy is going you at all, if you're going to take care of the kid, if you're going to have the kid. You control everything, but you pretend like we control that shit because we decided to fuck you once on the Friday night out when I had too much to drink. The reality is this: men are going to fuck you if you let them fuck you. Either we do vasectomies and use condoms and do all that and we say, close your legs, or you're going to fuck men that are not qualified to be the fathers of your kids. Stop doing that shit and ask for an investment first. If me and you, Tyranny, are going on a business, I'm not going to ask to you, Tyranny. Can you give me some baseline that I know if you back off, I'm not going to lose all my money? Invest on the business first. I want you to invest something. So now if you go on a business venture and I lose, you have something to lose too. Okay. Start asking that for a man before you open the legs. Before that, you know what that was called? Marriage. So if you put a ring on it, and if you want to bounce, then I call my lawyers. The lawyers go to the court, and you are going to lose something. If you are not willing to do that shit, just don't ask for men to do whatever they want to do. Okay, guys, I have to bounce. I appreciate you. I'm sorry for coming up late. I promise I will come next, brother Nixon. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. Salute to you, brother.
Yo, thanks for coming to Fatty, man. I appreciate it, man. Salute to you.
All right.
Word out.
Everybody know, like, listen, all right. Here's the thing, right? In these conversations, different dynamics are welcome in the conversation. So, we can't just say that everybody is completely wrong. It depends on the scenario. It depends on the different side of it. So we can talk about a certain type of behavior of women. We can do that. We can also talk about a certain type of behavior of men, but it takes two in these situations, right? So whether it was on the man, it takes the woman to protect herself, right? If it's the other way around and a man shouldn't be with a certain woman in a certain situation, it takes that man just not volunteering to be, in that situation or put himself in that situation. But I think what we need to listen to, the fact that women are basically saying, in these situations, you're putting the onus on us to make sure these things don't happen by closing my legs. It's kind of like they're basically saying, and I don't like this at all. That, trust me, when I hear pussy is power and all that type of stuff, like, nah. That maybe to you, but not to me. If it ain't happening, it ain't happening. I get that choice to say, no, I ain't fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that choice. But for you to come at me and say, oh, you weak. If I open my legs like you, that's men. You just gonna do it anyway. Come on, man. We should take that as an insult, man. And then we get up here, a lot of times we prove women right. We put it on them because we hate to hear the word discipline. Like, what's I'm not trying to go there. What's between your legs worth? If it's worth me losing everything because I want a quick, 25-minute session, and then what? That post-nut clarity, I shouldn't have did it. Come on, man. Like, you've been in that situation enough times to know that you shouldn't do it in the fucking first place. You know what I mean? It's okay to say no. It ain't, my thing is, it's not on you. If I don't even like you or want to be with you just because, listen, I mean, you're going to be tested, man. Like, I was in a situation with my ex and we was breaking up, you know what I mean? Divorce and everything, right? And I was clearing everything out the house. I mean, she done did some foul shit, man. I'll say some foul shit. I was clearing at the house, when she, found out I was still there. She came over, man. I'm walking up the steps. I turn around, next thing you know, she dropped her sundress on the floor. And I kept fucking walking. And I went upstairs. I had everything out of the room but the bed. I had to take the bed apart. And she laid on the bed naked. And I tell you, if you don't put your fucking clothes on and get out.
And how much more does she respect you? Honestly.
There was no respect because she thought that she could just give me some and I could forget everything. And that's what I'm saying, bro. You got to, come on, man. No. Put your clothes on and get out. Come on, man.
I mean, and I'm not denying anything you're saying. Just like Fatty has said, get a vasectomy. What? Not many men want to marry a woman that can't produce children. Well, I mean, and it's just what I've heard. I will screw her, but I'm not going to take her serious because there's nothing I can get from her. There's no benefit. It's just sex. That's it. And the same with the woman. Let me find out you got a vasectomy. I'm cheating on you. I mean, just being honest. I'm not going to stay loyal to you. There's nothing I can get from you. And then 187 said, what do women bring to the table? I'm going to just be so honest with you guys, okay? I was watching this little YouTube thing, whatever, and the black guy, the questioner said, asked this white guy and his girlfriend, he said, what does she bring to the table? And the white boy's response was something I never heard. He said, I get a loyal partner for the rest of my life and someone beautiful to look at. That's what he said. We over here asking, what can women bring to the table? What y'all want us to bring money? Because the moment a woman starts bringing money to the table, she's trying to control. And I know for a fact, because my mom brings home over $200K a year, and she has that dominant spirit because she mentally don't need a man, because she can bring to the table what a man can, which is financial. But if you start looking at women the way that God gave Eve to Adam, something beautiful, something just to have by your side, something loyal, something that's yours, because men like to dominate anyway. Okay, fine. But if you have something beautiful by your side, that's it. So I mean, I love kids. I would never abort no kid. I would never tell people not to have children. I think people need to have children, especially in our community, because in Ohio they just passed a law about aborting kids in 7 to 8 months. And the more we keep aborting our children and getting away with our children, we won't have a community. But if y'all stepped up and said, I'm going to, like you guys are saying, which is beautiful, I'm definitely finna subscribe. If our man definitely step up and say, I'm going to next time, our community would be untouchable.
Man, damn them looks. Now the sucker free part, I get that part, Rush. I get that. Hey, man, start unsubscribing, start unliking them IG pics. Fuck that. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing, right?
That too. Y'all can discipline women. If you, like you said, if you stop, y'all stop liking IG pictures, we'll stop doing it, because then we'll see that that's not what you're interested in. Absolutely.
First of all, I'm not going crazy over an IG model that I don't even know liking all her pics, and then you got guys going to her DMs that she going to ignore, but she needs y'all attention so she can get the sponsorship, but you don't get none out of it. I'm good. But anyway, the thing is, bringing good looks to the table, looks fade. Then what I'm gonna do after that?
Well, looks fade on some people. I'm gonna be fine till I'm 90. So I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying, you can look good and still be a problem.
But that's what I'm saying. A loyal partner. That's what I'm saying. And not only is she loyal, she's a beautiful woman in my eyes too. I mean, what more do y'all really want? What do men really want when they say, what does a woman bring to the table? What do you want?
What do you mean I want? I'm not gonna go with the whole cooking and cleaning and all that, because you got a lot of men that cook and clean. We do that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Men are looking for the standard. We're looking for cooperation. We're looking for respect. We're looking for support. We're looking for a teammate, a partner, because sometimes you might not be in the driver's seat. She might be in the driver's seat. You might have to, you know what I mean? It may be a strength that she has that you don't have. So, looking good ain't just it. We need somebody that we need a Scottie Pippen to our Jordan. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. So all the whole, I just show up and I'm here. No, looks, it got to be more than that, because we trying to build something. And if you have family, you got to have somebody. The thing is, a lot of times we already mess up when we choose the wrong partner or we're unequally yoked. Not saying that now, look, you can go through hell with somebody. Not saying that person is a bad person. Sometimes it's not the person you should be with. Sometimes you sat at the wrong table. Sometimes you sat in the seat that wasn't even supposed to be yours. So when we start off that way, now you already wrong. A lot of us know we're not supposed to be with certain people. You know what I mean? Like, you trying to make it work. You're the type of guy that, you may be a church going guy, you may be a hardworking guy, and you dating the club woman and trying to wife her up because she looked good, and having on your arm, makes you the man. Come on, man. You could provide a lot of stuff for her, and she may fall back. She may take that. But, sometimes it don't turn out to be right, because first of all, you just safe. You're not the guy that she wants. You just safe. And eventually the guy that she wants he's in the back of her mind. And when you have problems, guess what? That guy's he's circling around. That's the guy that he knows when you haven't taken pics in a while. That's the guy that knows, or you should know, that hell, they like every pic that don't have you and her in it. Like, you know
Great
what I'm
combo,
saying?
you guys. I will definitely be back. Appreciate you guys for having me up. Yeah, have a good one.
Have you up too.
You too. Yo, salute to 187 with the $2 super chat. He says IG pics get our attention, but it can't keep it. I think he probably sent that for Shorty, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end this live too. So, yo, L Nixon, thank you for coming through, man, and spreading the word, man. I appreciate that, man. Definitely gonna hit you up for the next one, man.
Okay.
Yo, and you got any last words for the people, man?
Yeah. My thing is this. A lot of times these conversations are so hard because, it's not like trying to step on everybody's toes, right? Because other people can have valid points, like, the position that Ali was coming from. We can't say that he didn't have valid points. You know what I'm saying? Or the guy who discipline is not even an option because he don't even get the amount of sex. So a lot of times these different perspectives, they're good for the conversation because it's never a one size fit all, right? And you got to have more context when you talk about certain situations. So that's why, we got to allow people to actually, have their part of the conversation. We don't have to agree all the time, but it's just interesting how, a thing could change when you start adding more context in it. You know what I'm saying? You never know the person's situation who's in a relationship with somebody and, they didn't want to have the child or what have you. You never know until you actually get more context. So, all opinions and perspectives are welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes that's how we learn from each other. You know what I mean? So my perspective isn't always right. And sometimes, you have to hear from other people. Even the ladies, that's how you learn. If you have a son, you may, need to hear these different sides so you'll know what other men are saying so you can kind of see what's out there. So, respect to everybody in the conversation, especially when you can have one. It can be productive if there's respect in that conversation and you can respect the people having it. So I always appreciate that, bro.
Word up, man. Definitely appreciate you joining the panel too. Know what I mean? Yo, show's officially over. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One. Yo, peace.
Peace.
Next.
Peace.